going to start the program here with a video, and then we'll bring out the guests of honor. So sit back and enjoy. This is a great afternoon for the University of Utah, and let's go Utes.
Morgan Scalley.
Morgan Scalley.
Morgan Scalley.
Morgan Scalley, head coach in waiting, and his track record awfully impressive across multiple fronts as a recruiter and a play caller.
Yeah, Morgan Scalley's a great player, but he's a coach. He's a competitive maniac. He understands the game. He was a coach on the field. Incredible leadership. He elevated those around him. Utah's in great position for years to come.
My job is continue to maintain and strengthen the culture that we have. I truly believe that culture does matter, and we're going to get the right guys in this program.
He's been revered as one of the best defensive coordinators in America for a lot of years. Grew up just a couple miles from Rice-Eccles Stadium here. He is everything that the Utes are all about.
Well, good afternoon, and thank you for joining us here today. At the University of Utah, we strive for excellence in everything we do, and University of Utah athletics is no different. So many opportunities are given to young men and young women to strive and succeed on the field, and it's that energy that we all watch that brings us together as a community. Utah football is woven into the fabric of our community as well. And we are thrilled that today one of our own, Morgan Scalley, has stepped up and is going to be our new head football coach. Morgan shares our values, he shares our history, and even more importantly, he's got the brains and know-how to succeed in this new era of college athletics, and I am confident that we have the right man for the job at the right time. So thank you very much for taking this assignment, Morgan. Liz, we want to welcome you as well. We know that this is a family affair, and we know that you and your kids will be an incredible support to him and his biggest supporters on and off the field. So we want to welcome Liz and the family today as well. I would be remiss if I also didn't mention Morgan's predecessor, Coach Kyle Whittingham. Kyle's impact on this university was broader than just victories on the field. It also impacted us as a community. And he set a high standard, a standard that we know Morgan will exceed. And we appreciate Kyle Whittingham's legacy, and he will forever be a Ute. Finally, I want to extend my sincere gratitude to Mark Harlan, our Director of Athletics, for not only overseeing this transition in football, but also being an innovator in this very tumultuous time of college athletics. We are very, very fortunate to have Mark leading the transformation of not only all of our sports, but also the business model and what we are as an organization in athletics. Thank you very much, and thank you for being here today.
Well, this is one of those rare and special days where we get to witness somebody's dream coming true. Today we welcome and formally introduce Morgan Scalley as the 24th head coach in the history of University of Utah football. There's no one better prepared or better suited to take the reins of Utah football. He's a Utah man through and through. I have had the great fortune of being the voice of the Utes for 17 years, and every single one of those years has included working with Morgan Scalley, whether it was as safeties coach or defensive coordinator and now head coach. So now, let's welcome to the stage the man who will introduce formally Utah's new head football coach. In his 7th year here at Utah, he's guided the Utes to new heights in the classroom and in competition. 32 conference championships, we'll add to that. 48 NCAA tournament berths in 10 different sports. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Director of Athletics, Mark Harlan.
5 ski championships, I do believe, Mr. Eccles. You're welcome. Thank you. Well, I want to thank everybody for joining us on this historic and very exciting day for the University of Utah, as we officially welcome Morgan as our new head football coach. Your presence here reflects the great admiration and appreciation we all have for Morgan. I'm sincerely grateful for all of our student athletes, some of whom are here. If you could raise your hand. Thank you guys for being here. Second day. No one's missing class right now. Our coaches that are here, our staff, our faculty, our donors, and alumni and fans, you guys are what make this place so special and allow us to succeed. We can succeed at the highest level in all our sports because of you. I also want to specifically thank Jeff Rudy. Jeff, are you here? Probably hiding in the wings as normal. Jeff Rudy is our amazing football overseer of football. You can imagine he's been very busy, even right now looking at his phone because he hates when I call him out. Thank you, Jeff Rudy. Anybody with 2 first names is dangerous. It's the same with Rudy. Of course, without the tremendous leadership of President Randall, none of this success is possible. Thank you, President, for everything you do, and our late-night phone calls trying to figure it all out, I'm very grateful for. I also want to recognize Spence, who's here today, and remind you and your family, you are the foundation. You laid all of this out for us. Your leadership, your passion, your investment is why we're all here. We're very, very grateful. Thank you. And Chairwoman Eccles is here as well. And she's been incredible as we've gone through this transition, and your passion for athletics and this university is I'm very grateful. Thank you. I too want to recognize Kyle Whittingham for all that he has done for the University of Utah, for this athletics department, certainly the football program, the university, and I would argue the state of Utah. He established a legacy here that will stand the test of time, and we really do want to wish Kyle and Jamie and the entire family the success on their next adventure. I too, Liz, want to welcome you and your family. Thank you. And the one thing I would say in advance, thank you for sharing him with us. Because obviously we're very appreciative, but can't wait to spend time with you and your family. Andrew seems to know everything about roster developments before his dad does. So I've learned to just reach out to you if I can't get something from you. Thank you guys so much. So moving forward, when we talk about a Utah man and the attributes, it's hard to imagine somebody as uniquely equipped and suited for this role as Morgan Scalley. He has proven over and over again that he is not only prepared and ready to lead, but will excel in taking over our storied football program. Let me tell you this, nobody prepares like Morgan Scalley. He loves the University of Utah, and the bond runs deep throughout his family for generation. Can I have the Scalleys raise their hand real quick? Appreciate all of you.
Raise them high.
Forgive me for singling anyone out, but Bud, who played here, who was better, you or Morgan? Bud. And Bud, you didn't say anything, but I heard it. Sorry, Morgan. I love it. But like I said, he loves this university, and you can see why. The generations that have attended this university. University of football head coach is more than a job. It is personal for Morgan. I'm not going to take the time to share with you all of the success as a student athlete and a coach, and certainly as a player, because many of you could recite that with Morgan. But I'm going to tell you this. I've had the opportunity over my 8 years here to witness the way Morgan leads young men and mentors them. He handles success and adversity at an elite level. He is always prepared, organized, and leads with confidence. His composure, his clarity, and certainly we saw some of those results last Wednesday night in Las Vegas, didn't we? Today officially begins a new chapter in Utah football, and he is ready. As an organization, so too we are ready. This department and this university will continue to provide the resources needed to attract and retain the best talent and the best coaches. I can assure you of that. We will compete for championships in the classroom, in the community, and certainly in competition. We will build this brand consistent with the aspirations of this incredible institution under the leadership of President Randall. So today, we gather to celebrate one of our own. So with no further delay, I'd like to introduce to you, and President Randall, if you could join me, the 24th head coach of the University of Football program, Mr. Morgan Scalley.
Two things I want to clear up. I'm really not that smart. They talk about my brains. I'm not that smart. I've got a bigger heart than I do a brain. I'm just grateful for people that have surrounded me that make me look smart. And my best recruiting job is sitting right here. I'm a baby. You're going to see that today. I'm a baby. But man, our team's going to rip your face off. Okay? And the second thing that was said is no one prepares better than I do. I do not have a prepared speech, so congratulations. So I'll be off the cuff. I am grateful to my Savior, Jesus Christ, not ashamed to say that, who sacrificed for me, has led me in this direction. Didn't know that I really wanted to get into coaching, and so I've led my life based on a belief that He will lead me, He will guide me, and based on the Spirit, it has brought me to this place where I can give and serve and love. So grateful for this opportunity. My name is Ford Morgan Scalley. Some of you don't know my first name's Ford. Ford is my father's name, my grandfather's name. And I always wanted to play here because of my dad. Grew up, he played for Ray Nagel. You know, I was born in the Wayne Howard years. And Chuck Stobart after that, who I didn't really know I was too young, but once Fossil hit the ground, that's when I was coming to games, and I was running the tunnels, and I had my Little League jersey on so I could get in for free, okay? And I'm one of you. All of you that are sitting in here that went through the same thing, I'm a fan. I'm a Ute. Have been, forever will be. And when that time comes and I'm done, okay, someone else will step up. I understand that, okay? It's not about me. It's not about one person. It never will be, okay? It is about these guys. It is about the players, okay? And players win championships. Teams win championships, not individuals. So while my name is going to be out there and this is history and I get it and I love it, it's all about the guys that I grew up watching, okay? And my dad is number one in getting me here. Bud, I love you. My middle name is Morgan. That is my mom's maiden name, Claudia Jean Morgan. And her father, Nick Morgan, was a huge Ute supporter. Okay, he was the bleacher quarterbacks that he started. I guess it was forerunner for the Crimson Club. And my grandfather, Nick, passed away before I could even meet him. And so one of these days I will meet him. And he's watching right now. So, Grandpa, I love you. Mom, thank you. Thank you for letting me do this. She didn't want me to play football. I don't know. I don't think you can do it. You know. Yeah, you were wrong. But you want to know where I get my crazy side? And you play it, Jono, the singing, the dancing, all that crazy crap I do. That's Claudia. Okay, that's Claudia. And the combination of my family, all Utes. So grateful for you and being there for me. And the ones that sacrifice the most right now that don't get to see Dad as much as they would like. Emma Jean, okay, Maddie, Andrew, love you guys. We're going to make this special. You got me? Okay, thank you for letting me do this. Okay, so grateful. Just had a family full of people that have helped me along the way and just forgiven me for all the crap I do, you know. And so this is my history. I'm a Ute, and I was recruited by a guy by the name of Ron McBride. I never thought I was going to get an offer to the University of Utah. Don Eck was the O-line coach at the time, and he came to Highland High School and, just kept talking to Coach McBride. I like this kid. What there was to like, I don't know. But I waited and waited and waited, and Utah was the only place I ever wanted to go. And I didn't care about any other scholarship offers. I didn't get many. And then Ron brought me up to the facility, which was a shell of itself back then, but brought me up to the facility, sat me down, offered me a scholarship, and I'm sure wanted to say, you think about it, and I didn't allow him to say another word. I said, I'm in. I'm in. Yeah. And just have had an unbelievable group of coaches that have led me along my way from high school on up. Tom Kingsford, Larry Gelwicks, Larry Wilson. I've had some really good coaches. That some are here today, and I love you. And Ron took a chance on me, and every time I'm going through something, or he can tell, Utah had a bad defensive game, this guy reaches out to me. And one of the best recruiters, the best recruiter I've ever known, okay? Love you and grateful for you. Ron recruited me as a wide receiver. I was a running back in high school, wanted to be a running back, wanted to follow up my dad. And that wasn't a good thing, okay? Because there was a lot of depth at running back at the University of Utah at the time. They switched me to wide receiver, and I didn't learn how to catch the ball with my hands. I was a body catcher. I went to the first spring workout, off-season workout. Ryan Breska was a quarterback, and I started catching footballs from Ryan Breska, who, if you knew Ryan Breska, he threw every ball like it was a fade, a 5-yard hitch, as hard as you could throw it. And he was awesome. He was a baseball player. I came away from that practice so tattooed, bruised, and I came home and my mom's like, "What did they do to you?" So I had to learn to be a wide receiver, and I don't know that I ended up learning to be a good one. And there was a coach there, Bill Bush, who saw something in me as well. And grateful for Bill Bush for having a vision. You guys that we've asked to change positions, okay? Jackson Benny, okay? We do it a lot here at the University of Utah. I didn't want to change, okay? Bill Bush said, you'll be an all-conference safety, and I laughed at him. Said, there's no way. And I sat down with Kyle Whittingham, and he shared the vision as well. And Kyle said, Morgan, we want you to play safety. We think you could be an unbelievable one. I said, Kyle, it's always been my dream to play running back here, to follow up my dad. He said, Morgan, it's always been my dream to play center field for the Angels, but that's not going to happen. Fair enough. I wish I had made the change sooner, because I loved the safety position. Kyle Whittingham, Bill Bush allowed that to happen, made that happen, and Kyle Whittingham has given me chance after chance after chance for my entire career. I love Kyle Whittingham. And I know he's going to be successful wherever he goes. I know he's at Michigan. He's going to be amazing. I'm grateful for the chances he's taken on me, for mentoring me, tutoring me, breathing life into me when I didn't necessarily love football, and I was asked to change positions. So I've had great coaches that have helped me understand the beauty of this game. I don't believe at the end of my life God is going to ask me, Morgan, why didn't you score more touchdowns? Why didn't you win more games? He will ask me, how did you serve? How did you give? Did you love? Did you honor your wife and your family? Did you take care of them? Right? And so in the grand scheme of things, this game is very insignificant, but at the end of the day, it is a very significant school in what it has taught me about life and what it takes to be successful in life. There are many titles that you men will hold, and I know you know this by heart, don't you, Rabbit? Okay? And the number one title you will hold will never have anything to do with football. That title is father. And the goal here is to create great ones. We will teach them skill sets and mindsets in this game. And if the only skill sets we teach are how to become a better football player, we are failing them. Because at some point, no one cares about your 40 time. No one cares about how high you can jump. That skill set runs out. There are so many more things that we teach you guys, right, about what it takes to be successful in life that go beyond the game, the transferable. That's why I coach. Yes, I'm competitive. Yes, I want to win every game by 50. Yes, we're going to teach, and we're going to scheme, and we're going to be the most innovative and on the edge, on the cutting edge of being the best, okay? But we want you to become great men, great fathers. Don't we, Nate? My man. I've been through a ton of transition here at the University of Utah. When we went from the Mountain West Conference, okay, and we were playing, and I remember playing in front of, I think, 15,000 fans. Would have been my sophomore year, UNLV. And all of a sudden, in comes Urban Meyer, another guy that I love and respect and infuses, passion and energy. And that stadium, when we played Cal in 2003, when the fire chief was like, "What are you doing? This is not right. It's illegal." Urban was like, "I don't care." And kind of, it was amazing I still, to this day, in that game, you had Alex Smith versus Aaron Rodgers. Okay? And the running back for Cal fumbled in that game. I picked it up, and Aaron Rodgers tackled me. That's my claim to fame. I have been tackled by a future Hall of Famer. The fact that he's still playing now, I don't get it. I don't get how he does it. But watching him try and escape outside the other day, I was like, okay, yeah, you can't do it. Bless his heart. He can throw, though, can he? And all of a sudden, the passion and energy for football. And you saw that, we go to the Fiesta Bowl, and all of a sudden, Kyle takes over, and, he does his thing. He puts his own stamp on the program. The Sugar Bowl, that was my first year as a full-time coach in 2008. We went undefeated. I'm like, this is easy. Man, being a coach. And grateful for Derek Odom, our new safeties coach. Had Derek not left the program, I would not be here because I took over for the safety spot. And my wife was like, you've got your business degree. Okay, figure it out. And so anyway, great. Thank you, Derek, for leaving. That's why I'm bringing you back, my man. You're a stud. And then the transition into the Pac-12, and it just has gotten better and better and better. And the goal now is playing in January and getting the national championship. And I'm not ashamed to say that. We can do it here at the University of Utah. We're going to do it here at the University of Utah. I've always believed that. Don't know that I wanted to be a coach, but again, the more I saw the beauty of what is taught in this game, the more I wanted to become a coach. And I love to teach. These guys know this. Sometimes I talk too much, which is what you're getting right now. But I hope that everyone understands what it's going to take to get there. It's going to take all of us, okay, and then some. Grateful for young men that buy in, that want to be a part of a legacy, right? That want to do this and do it the right way. We are going to be smash mouth. We're going to score, and we're going to play great defense. And I can't wait to get this thing going. I've already done a press conference, by the way. I don't know. This is like number 2. I feel like Costanza, we went 1-0. It's like, should I just go out like on top? George Costanza, that whole thing. But anyway, to the donors, to the boosters, the people that have believed in me, Spence Eccles, man, thank you for your belief in me. The Board of Regents, thank you for your belief in me. And I'm going to pour everything I have into this program and make you proud. Okay? To President Randall, to Mark Harlan, to Jeff Rudy, you guys that have been side by side, helped me along this transition. Let's go do this. Let's go do it. Thank you so much. Go Utes.
All right, we're going to have some questions for Morgan and for Mark. For the media that's here, we're going to have a pass mic that will be sent around, so just raise your hand. I'm going to kick things off. We'll start with a question for Mark. Morgan's been head coach in waiting now for a little while. When you gave him that label, Mark, what did you see in him? What was it that, you've hired coaches throughout your career, but what did you see in Morgan that said, yeah, this is the right guy to run our program?
I think you just saw it. I think you just saw it right there. I think what I noticed quickly when I went to practice in the fall, because I got here in June, and I saw his passion working with the players. I studied up on him, certainly had a lot of conversations with Kyle about his staff, and that I just observed. It's so funny about Morgan, and we'll see if this changes now that you got the head coaching deal going on, but watch him on the sideline. Like, he's so cool, calm, collected. Sharif, is going around, running around. There's Sharif over there. What's up, buddy? He's running around doing his thing, but he's so cool, calm, and collected, but you can see the fire burning. But I think most important is just the way he treats and cares so passionately and authentically about the student athletes. It's really something I have not seen in my 28 years now in the business. He truly, A lot of coaches talk about loving their players. This man loves his players, and I think that's what we need in this game today more than ever.
Man, thank you. If you hear a recording from the headset, I'm not calm, cool, and collected. Anyway.
All right, Morgan, a quick one for you as well. You've coached for a long time. You've certainly had opportunities at different junctures in your career to expand, go elsewhere with the opportunity to maybe come back. But what was it that kept you here with other opportunities that presented themselves throughout your career?
I never wanted to leave here. I didn't. My family is here, and I don't want to ever uproot that. As long as I felt valued, as long as I felt like I was giving something, and that's why people leave organizations, programs. Number one reason ain't money. It's because they don't feel valued, they don't feel loved or appreciated, and I've always felt that. Have there been opportunities? Yeah. Do you listen to those opportunities? Yeah. But then you tell those opportunities, thank you, but no thank you. And I've been grateful to be here my entire career.
All right, assembled media, raise your hand. We'll have the pass mics come around, and I think Josh will probably lead us off over here. Say your name when you raise your hand.
Yeah, Josh Furlong, KSL.com. Morgan, as you look to the future, what do you want your legacy to be remembered as?
What do I want my legacy to be remembered as? I don't think that I think in those terms. I just, one day at a time, and give everything I have. And at the end of the day, it's good enough or it's not good enough. And the results will speak for themselves. Abraham Lincoln said, I do the best I can, the best I know how, and I mean to keep doing so until the end. If the end brings me out all right, what is said against me will amount to nothing. And so that's pour everything into it.
Morgan, Steve Bartle, KSL Sports. We know your defensive culture, RSNB. That's what you've preached. But now you get to coach the offensive side of the ball. What do you see when you think of your offense? What do you want that to look like?
Well, I want, number one is physicality. You win championships with offensive and defensive line, period, end of story. Particularly in a game that's changing and where you're not practicing as physical because the numbers are shrinking. You'll always have to be physical. So establishing the offensive and defensive line. I also believe that you have to be innovative. You have to be creative. When Kyle came to me last year and said, I want you to look at the coordinators that we're interviewing, we looked at about 6, 7 different coordinators, and I came to Jason Beck's offense and saw the formations in the boundary, the shifts, the motions, the stuff that causes defensive coaches ulcers. And how are we gonna match that? How are we gonna do this? Okay, and so the same process with Kevin, and you take a look at that film and you're like, my gosh, okay, yeah, it makes you smile. At least makes me smile, right? And then everyone else will understand the why. But so excited. You have to be physical, and then you have to be innovative. You have to always be on the cutting edge, always be a student, never think you have the answers. So anyway, hopefully that answers that.
Hey Morgan, Joe Colson, Deseret News. You touched on it there, but why was Kevin McGivern the choice for offensive coordinator?
The reasons I just talked about, the innovation, and if you watch and study the film, and at least if you know football, right, you'll see the issues that his offense can present. You look at the track record, and throughout the years, I've made it a priority to always follow those whose offenses, because as a football coach, we watch football, right? That's my profession. And I like to see, I go on the road, I study football and what can give me problems, what's innovative. And so you keep names throughout your journey. Well, being a head coach in waiting, there's a lot of people that will reach out to you because they think any year's the next year. And every year, his name comes up. Scalley, you got to look at this guy. Scalley, you got to look at this guy. I know, I've looked at him. I know about him, right? And so he creates issues at levels in football. And I can get into the X's and O's, but then you'd be sitting there like, okay, he's speaking Mandarin Chinese right now. But he's really good at what he does. He's efficient at what he does, and he's done it at a level that hasn't necessarily had the resources that we have. So get ready for Kevin McGivern.
Morgan, John Kuhn, Associated Press. You had to assemble your staff on the fly with kind of a tight window with the transfer portal opening. With that in mind, when you were hiring assistants, how much of it was looking at the immediate needs here and now versus what you needed long-term as a team as well?
Well, I think it's kind of a combination of both. The things that you have to do, particularly because, I never knew when I was going to become the head coach. So you always have names in mind. I mentioned this with Kevin, right? So you go through and you just keep names in positions that you respect, priority being to, great teachers. In this game where 30 to 40% of your roster, you're going to see change every year. You want great teachers so that when those kids come in, they get them to learn. They get it to go. Also an offense like Kevin's, like Jason's, where your wide receivers, your skill players are being cued, meaning they're being told on the sideline what their job responsibility is as they line up. There has to be a system where you can teach these young men quickly, right? And get an offensive identity established early. That allows for that. It didn't hurt that we already had the skill players for that system, that had been in that system, right? Devin Dampier, Bird Ficklin, Wayshawn Parker, Daniel Bray, J.J. Buchanan, all these guys, Larry Simmons, all these guys that are already there, that are already gone, really in that system. That's the beauty, is you pull that film up and you go, look, boys, doesn't that look similar? Right? So those were things that went into the hiring process. But great teachers, great men, because again, we're about creating and we're about developing great men. So this is what you're going to see from this staff. Excited for you to meet them, to interview them, because I'm sick of talking.
Dan Sorensen with Utes Zone.
Oh, Dan.
So, look, it's a new era of college football with the transfer portal, with NIL. What is your approach going to be, and how is it going to change from the previous coaching staff?
Okay, so I've always been about creating culture. Culture is what you believe, it's how you behave, and it's the experience that's delivered by that behavior. The experience has to be awesome, Dan. If the experience is not awesome, if they don't believe in the culture and they don't see the fruits and the benefit of the culture, they'll leave. So you have to create a culture that's strong enough that maybe a higher dollar figure, okay, doesn't sway. No, I'm happy with where I'm making enough money, and I love how I'm being developed, loved how I'm being taught. I know we're sitting here at the highest level. I can get to the highest level. I mean, Spencer Fano going to be first tackle taken in the NFL draft, right? We've had first-round draft picks. We're in a great spot, right? And so you have to have a great culture. Then you have to have great support, which we have. Come on any given Saturday to Rice-Eccles Stadium, I think you'll see we got really, really good support. So the biggest thing to me is establishing a culture that people experience, right? Through their behavior, they experience greatness, and they don't ever want to leave it because they know they're getting the best.
Jason Batacchio from the Salt Lake Tribune. Morgan, you've talked a lot about just building your own identity, and obviously with the portal open, you can kind of build an identity quicker than maybe, in the past. Just, this is kind of a two-part question for you. What are you, I guess, targeting in the portal to kind of extend upon the identity that, you had this year? And B, how do you plan on building that identity, and what do you hope it to be this year in your first year as head coach?
Well, the good thing is that my identity is very similar to Kyle Whittingham's. You win with physicality. Yes, I'm going to have my flavor and creativity that goes along those lines, but the identity is the identity. The good thing is the majority of these players, more on the defensive side, they know me. They know how competitive I am, how I'm going to pour everything into it. The offensive guys are learning. And man, am I so excited to build those relationships with the offensive players. And so, what was your second question? I'm not a good two-part question guy. About the transfer portal. Okay, so you're always recruiting your own guys. They need to know that they're loved. They need to know that they're appreciated, right? Coach's job is to provide clarity, accountability, and support. And as long as you're giving them constant feedback, right? As long as you're continuing to tell them, hey, here's where we need to be, we're going to help you get there, that constant feedback is huge, right? You don't get many surprises with that. And this is change can be difficult for a lot of people. People leave an organization and there's doubt, there's fear, there's questions. How's it going to be? How's it going to go? What's going to happen, right? Fear has a significant psychological impact on the mind. To the fearful, it's threatening because it means that things may get worse. To the hopeful, it's encouraging because things may get better. And to the confident, it's inspiring because the challenge exists to make it better. I'm confident and excited for the future.
Josh Bennett, KSL Sports. Congratulations, first of all, Coach.
Thank you.
Just wanted to, you got thrown right into it. Bowl game, roster retention, filling out the coaching staff. You got the portal. How do you feel everything has gone thus far?
Man, I feel like it's my first birth and I gave twins. It's crazy. I'm just running around. And I'm a twin. And my mom had twins late, the last two, so she's told me all about it. But no sleep, hair on fire. That's why you get no prepared speech. Our coaches aren't here. Our coaches, you need to know the assistant coaches, really, they don't get talked about. And we sacrifice so much. And they are people, and they're awesome. Special shout out to my best friend, Sharif Shah. My man. We sat after a second 5 and 7 season under Coach Witt. We had 2 5 and 7 seasons in a row. That second 5 and 7 season, we sat there. Kalani Sitake. Oh, by the way, I love Kalani. That's my guy. We went through the fire together, but he ended up going to Oregon State with Elisa Tuiaki, and me and Sharif were sitting in the defensive staff room alone, not knowing if we were going to have jobs. And I looked at him and I said, okay, let's just put the film on, go to work. And thank heavens we kept our jobs. And we kept trucking, and here we are, brother. Love you.
Dana Green with ABC4. Talk about the importance of continuity and continuing what Kyle built here. And are there some definable characteristics that you can take from Coach Whittingham that you have taken and will incorporate into your coaching style?
100%. Toughness. You can never get away from it. Toughness, it's going to be exposed sooner or later, right? Depending on the quality of opponent. You will be exposed, right? Or you'll be up for the challenge. Number 2, family, right? That establishment of family and culture and togetherness, and we're doing this together, that is going to obviously carry on. It's all about the players. You can find coaches everywhere. You got good coaches everywhere. It's about the players. Players are the reason we have jobs, not the other way around. So understanding your significance or insignificance in the role of this thing, right? Understanding it's all about the players, and players eat first, players ride first class, it's always going to be about the players. And those are the things that I'm going to carry over from the Kyle Whittingham era.
We got time for 2 more. Andrea Ossie.
Hi, Coach. Andrea Urban with Fox 13. Congratulations. You definitely are filled with love and passion, and you just alluded to the things you're looking for in this program. What do you want your identity of Utah football to be? Just point blank, we are
physical.
I like it.
Does
I
that
like
answer
it.
that?
Yeah, absolutely.
We are physical. And then I would say we are physical and we are on the cutting edge.
Easy.
Sean O'Connell, ESPN 700. Hey, Morgan. Hi.
Hi, how are you?
Good to see you.
So good to
Congratulations.
see you. It's my teammate, by the way.
Yes, equally important to the program as Morgan, for sure.
Stop it. Stop it.
So you just talked about something that every great coach talks about, how players are the most important thing. We already touched on the transfer portal and on the fearful nature, the uncertain nature. How have you communicated to your players to make them confident instead of fearful, to make them feel like this is the place for them, knowing they might have a new position coach, they don't know what the NIL situation looks like, all of that stuff. How have you worked towards retaining the guys you want to retain, given the landscape we're in right now?
Yeah, I think, at least from the defensive perspective, they've kind of known me, obviously Colton Swan, an unbelievable coach and teacher. So the continuity is a little bit more there, less change there. But when you see change on the offense, I think the biggest thing is where were we last year? We were without an offensive coordinator. We were without a quarterback. You had guys transferring on the defensive side of the ball that were key components to our defense. And you had fear. You had questions. And so how many tackles did Jonah Lea'ea make 2 years ago? Look what he did this year, right? How many sacks did John Henry have 2 years ago versus this year? How many catches did Ryan Davis have? Touchdown passes did Devin Dampier throw? You have to trust the process that we're going to continue to reload and that we're continuing to get the right people in here. And to those who are fearful and want to leave, that's okay, because we will bring the ones that want to be here. And we will develop them and love them, and we're going to do everything we can. I've got an unbelievable coaching staff. The future is bright here. And at the end of the day, you're either in the boat or you're out. And yes, does it hurt to lose great young men? 100%. Particularly when you've poured into them. It tears at your heartstrings, right? But we have to focus on, okay, who wants to be here? And let's go develop them, right? To be that next year's group of guys you never heard of, or guys that didn't make plays for you the year before, but here we go. And like I said, I'm confident in our staff, confident in our players. We're going to get the job done.
Thank you, Morgan.
Can you believe we have to wait 8 months for football? Open up spring, Morgan. We want to come out and watch you guys train. One more big round of applause for the head coach of Utah football, Morgan Scalley.